matchup. My name is Tyrannix, and I'm joined by Tilo. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Looking forward to this matchup today.
Good. We got our one match this week that's got a 1-0 competitor against an 0-1. LordFizzlebeef won his first match this last week in less than 30 seconds. So it was one of the best races of the week. And Dem0nfr0g had the unfortunate floater locked by the Ruby, and he lost to Maya. So this should be a pretty good race today.
Yeah, it's. I think we should be getting close to getting underway. Guess we'll start off by noticing that they have a forced black mage. Your thoughts on that?
Black mage is one of the better forces, I would say. I've noticed that there's Dem0nfr0g has 2 red mages, and Fizzlebeef is bringing a thief, which is named Dead, so I'm assuming he's just going to Dan him and go 3-man.
That's what it would seem like.
And here we go. Lightning 3 and level 1 black magic. That's going to be good for Dem0nfr0g. It's going to be castable by all of them.
So it looks like we have a pretty good initial run on the encounter table.
Yeah, that'll really speed up the run a lot. Looks like Dem0nfr0g's taken a couple fights to get some more money and spell charges, and Fizzlebeef is just running in.
I had a little bit of technical difficulties. Can you tell me what was in the white magic shop?
Yeah, I missed that as well. I think there was just level 1 cure. Got a Bane sword and a copper gauntlet, and so nothing too exciting in the Temple of Fiends.
Bane sword can be really nice early on in trying to take care of large mobs. Well, if Garland had anything nasty, he wasn't around long enough to show it. And then we can get a canoe from the king and a floater from the princess.
That's a pretty free seed this looks like right now. They'll have instant access to the floater, should get it around the 10 or 12 minute mark. If anybody doesn't know, with our exploration options we have now, they will be taking a counterclockwise path around the map, and they will be able to reach the Crescent Lake area. And starting with both the floater and the canoe, they will be able to get the floater. There will be nothing blocking the floater.
If you've played the vanilla version of this game, you may notice that you're not ordinarily able to walk towards the dwarf cave, but the randomizer has had a few map changes added to make exploration a little more wide open. One of those is putting a little bit of a bridge between the opening area and the area around the dwarf cave. Other changes are to connect all the waterways so that you can get all the way from Crescent Lake to the volcano, to Ice Cave, and to Provoca, all with just the canoe.
Yeah, I did notice cabins were pretty expensive, so that may make this run a little harder to get to Elfland. But as long as they have a couple save items, it looks like their power cycle run is pretty great. So they shouldn't have a ton of trouble getting down to Elfland in the level 3 magic stores.
Yeah, that opening run definitely makes up for the lack of save options.
And I am curious to see if he's going to Dan his Thief. But usually when I play Seeds, Force Thief, I usually like to keep them alive until at least, because Thieves, once they class change, they get access to all Force 4 levels of magic. So I usually like to see what's available. If there's nothing really good, if there's fast temper, nuke, or anything like that, Dan the Thief. But he in the level 20 range, the Thief will have a decent amount of charges, and really is great for running from enemies and speeding up dungeons.
Now, one of the nice things about the Thief's the Ninja's cast growth rate is that gets a charge on every single level, or every single charge level. Anytime he goes up, I think it's every odd level, he gets an extra charge on each of the spell levels, and so that can really build up nicely. Finally,
tents are pretty reasonably priced here.
Houses are not.
Yeah, houses are very expensive.
See Fire 3 in the Black Magic Shop.
Heal 2 in White Magic is pretty nice. That's also in a Red Mage learnable slot. I don't think Fizzlebeef looked at the level 4 magic, but I don't think he needed to. He's going to have his floater here, his airship really soon, and he'll be able to... There's a lot of very easy chests that you can get. Cardia Islands, the Titan's Trove. You should be able to get... oh, Trolls look nasty. Is that Death Touch on the Trolls?
That's what it looked like to me.
Maybe it just one-shot him.
It looked like he death touched the Thief and then one-shot the Mage, is what I saw. But I may have missed the damage for the Thief. We have Exit at a Red Mage learnable spot in the level 4 White Magic Shop, but Life is locked out, I believe. I might have those backwards.
Looks like Warp was in level 4 as well, so they'll have access pretty early, around level 8, to the spells that can get them through some of the incentivized locations pretty quickly. And with those hero runs, it looks like Fizzlebeef did make it to Canaria. Crescent Lake. We got Dem0nfr0g slightly behind. He did a little more shopping, but this has been a pretty straightforward seed so far. Level 6 White Magic. I did not see it. And the crown for Lord Fizzlebeef.
Something you always like to see after you have the floater.
Exactly. He's going to have access to 20 plus more chests after just doing a couple fetch quests. Very easy to do with the airship. Provoca is the obvious play here. It's just north, and there's another incentivized location here at the Pirates, and you get to see your level 2 magic as well, which Wall, Fog 2, okay magic. Temper level 2, there's going to be a lot of charges for the Red Mage and the Black Mage and the Ninja too if he keeps them alive.
Yeah, we can definitely buff up the knight really well going into Topher.
Looks like Cure 4 is level 6 white magic, and then black magic, nuke. So he'll be able to learn that on his black mage. But I believe that is locked out for the red mages. Dem0nfr0g gets his crown, while Fizzlebeef is taking care of the pirates. And he gets a slab, which is, it's nice to see early because you can easily route in a trip to the level 5 magic shops and turn in your slab at the same time. This has been a very straightforward, very nice seed so far. Looks like Fizzlebeef might be going to do his crown quest right now. Yep, that's what he's doing. He could have routed in a pretty easy stop to Cardia Islands on the way, but he might do that not Cardia Islands, Sarda on the way. It's not horrible. If I'm curious your opinion, given the choice of all the incentive locations that you have to work for, Waterfall, Temple, Ordeals, and Ice Cave, which one do you like to hit first if you have the choice of all of them?
That's very dependent upon magic and gear. In general, I think I prefer to go Ordeals because it seems to have less nasty monsters than Ice does, and it has that incentivized item.
That is true.
Depending upon what the incentivized item I'm looking for is, I may hit Ordeals first. But if I'm if the gear, I haven't found anything yet, or especially if I don't have a lot of nice spells, I like to make a stop at the treasury in the volcano early.
Looks like we are doing the crown quest. I'm going to finish it up on Fizzlebeef's side, and Dem0nfr0g is doing the exact same thing, just a couple minutes behind. So there hasn't been any large diversion in the path, but that wouldn't be expected with a seed like this so far. And we'll have Fizzlebeef checking out these chests. 4 chests in Elfland Castle. Sunsword's a nice pickup. It's on the tier right below the 4 really good swords. That should get him going through the majority of the game. It's also equipable by the red mage once there's class change.
And it can also be fairly useful, especially early on in the Ice Cave, as it does extra damage to undead.
Yeah, Dem0nfr0g turning in a slab over here. He checked the magic shops, but I didn't catch if there was anything good in level 5. We got pro rings for about 20,000 in the armor shop. Picks up exit and warp.
Fade was there in level 4, but locked out to the red mages.
That will also be locked out from the knights, so there will be no Fade in this seed. Just some money and a silver shield there in the castle. And they're both high-fiving here in Sarda. They're probably hoping for the tail here. And they get the cube.
This starts to bring up an interesting decision of if you're going along and you start to realize that the tail is going to be in either Ice Cave or Ordeals, which means it's not necessary do you still spend the time to go get it, or do you move on and try to go without the class change?
Yeah, that is a difficult choice. Most of the time, I would say it's worth it, especially with the kind of armor that you usually find. You can usually find good armor for the knight. The spell charges for the mages, it's usually worth the time, but you can make the argument. None of them are running black belts, so there's no harm in. But you are correct. If it is the last incentive item is the tail, it is an option to skip it because the tail is not required to beat the game. And it looks like we got Dem0nfr0g checking out the Cardia aisles. And LordFizzlebeef is checking the armory over here in the Dwarf Cave. Making good use of that Bane sword. See if we got anything good here in the Dwarf Cave. Got some money. Ice sword's nice.
Ice sword kind of in that same tier as the Sun sword.
Yeah.
Nice because it's equipable by the red mages as well.
And I believe those are both equipable by the ninja upon class change as well. But the ninja would certainly be looking for a katana. Over here in Canary, we have ice armor. The Vorpal sword, that's nice. That is also equipable by the Red Wizard, I believe. He has to class change before he can equip that, but that is a nice sword. Also, with all those temper charges, it can be a real viable endgame weapon.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, it requires a class change actually for anybody to equip it, and so that's one more reason to go after the tail.
Didn't look like there was any game-changing equipment left in the Cardia Islands. A Dem0nfr0g coming here. Not sure. He doesn't have the bottle yet to turn that in. He's just checking the level 7 spoke.
Probably looking to see if we can find the item from the vendor.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the item yet. Got LordFizzlebeef checking out, getting a pro cape from Temple of Fiends lock chest.
So we still have not seen the vendor item, and so I think that leaves us with Onrak or the Caravan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe that's the only two places that haven't been checked yet. Ooh, and we have the Adamant. That's pretty big for LordFizzlebeef because that's in a chest that I wouldn't say is commonly checked.
Yeah, of all the key lock chests outside of Marsh, those are the ones that are most frequently skipped over.
So he is okay on endgame weaponry now. He's going to have a ton. I don't believe we've seen fast yet, but there should be a ton of temper charges. So he's okay on weaponry. He's, of course, going to be looking for ribbons along the way, but the Adamant's a big find.
Yeah, at this point, it's about finding stuff that's going to keep him alive long enough to get all those charges in.
Looks like we have Dem0nfr0g going down to turn in his, get his chime. and it looks like he is on Team Stake. I do not agree with this play at all. And it doesn't work out for him. Tyros are for friends.
I'm kind of in that same boat, more or less, from a practical standpoint. It may just be my inexperience, but it feels like they're often take more effort to kill than the experience gain is worth.
LordFizzlebeef here on the right-hand side, finishing up the Cardia Islands, and I believe now we will see what divergent path he's chosen to take. I'm guessing, yes, this makes sense. He's heading over to the waterfall area. He's going to check these vendor items, and the vendor item has to be an on-rack now.
It's always rough because you tend to like to make one visit to on-rack, so be able to go when you're ready to go take on the Sea Shrine. But with a vendor item known to be there now, it's likely you may have to make 2 trips, especially if it's the bottle.
Ooh, we got 2 members of Team Stake. It looks like with him finding the adamant, he's choosing to leave his thief down now. He put his fighter back up in the #1 position. I don't hate this play. He's going to have enough black magic between the red mage and the black mage. Was life learnable by a red mage? Have we seen any life spells yet?
I believe so. I believe life, when went to the level 4 shop, it looked like life was in the 3rd slot there, which is learnable by the red mage. The exit and fade were in 2 and 4, so those were locked out.
So he'll at least be able to res his thief for, you know, taking pot shots against Kraken 2.
It's always nice to have a little bit of an extra meat shield out there.
Yeah. That almost cost me my week 1 race. I danned a black mage and then forgot to res him for the gatekeepers fights and caused me a couple wipes. And it looks like we have them both going towards ordeals. I don't hate this play. I'm sure they're looking for the bottle. I don't know how many warp charges they have. I tend to lean towards leaving, or especially if warp, specifically warp, because warp lets you get through the maze earlier. Sometimes I'll wait on ordeals just to get more warp charges. I might do waterfall before that for that reason, but it looks like he's level 10, so if he uses a house here, he should have at least a couple warp charges to get through the maze.
Yeah, those warp charges can really affect your routing early on, because not only are it really nice in the Temple of Ordeals so that you don't have to redo parts of the maze, but it's also nice in the Ice Cave so you can find the incentivized item a whole lot earlier, especially if Ice Cave is really nasty.
Oh, and Dem0nfr0g just tears through it. Unrunnable nightmares, those are never fun.
It's interesting to me. I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe Dem0nfr0g has actually gone after the crown locked, or the key locked chests that from the crown quest.
Yeah, I don't believe he's even on the quest. I think he killed Astos and then took a couple of detours, and he hasn't. Yeah, he does not have the key yet. So that's a couple minute divergence he's going to have to take.
Beyond that, there were a lot of good weapons found in that whole path, and so he's playing at a disadvantage right now.
Got a wizard mummy fight. These are one of my favorite packs to take on for experience. You want to see more wizard mummies, but very good experience in these packs. Weak to harm and fire. Pretty easy to take down most of the time. But it's randomizer, so you never know when they have poison. There's a ribbon on Dem0nfr0g side, which Fizzlebeef will get here shortly as well. First ribbon of the match. And the bottle. So this is a good play because he'll be able to turn in his bottle, and he can route that in going to the waterfall. And maybe if he wants to do She Shrine first, or at least wait, he can do that as well. So that opens up a couple paths these guys can take.
Do you potential that we're going to be grinding on zombie Ds here?
I don't hate that play. They're weak to fire, so with the abundance of fire 2 and fire 3 charges that we have at our disposal here on Dem0nfr0g's side, it's a good chance to get some levels. I believe he's slightly behind on levels right now. At Fizzlebeef, not grind. Oh no, Dem0nfr0g's actually slightly ahead on levels.
Yeah, Dem0nfr0g spent a lot of time while searching the Cardia Islands, taking on various creatures outside of the little caves.
Got both members power cycling to get these long runs on the second reset. Looks like you got about 3 steps, and then you can reset, and then get a long run. Dem0nfr0g going to turn in his bottle. This is a nice play. Oh, and Fizzlebeef takes a wipe. But he did save on the outside. It's not too much of a loss of time. Got a very close race so far. I'd say the only real advantage is Fizzlebeef has done his key quest items so far. That seems to be really the only difference between the two racers right now.
Yeah, so Fizzlebeef is a little further ahead in exploration, but I believe it's, we noted a few moments ago that Dem0nfr0g's got the experience lead by a slight amount. So
Dem0nfr0g visiting the oasis, not finding anything. Probably looks like he's stopping by on-rack right now. Not sure if he's going to take on the Sea Shrine while he's here, but he can see. I mean, if the tail is for sale here, you know, if the tail's for sale, or if he finds it in Waterfall, that would be a nice pickup for him. The rod for sale for 60,000. That's actually not too bad because a lot of people do the Earth Cave late, and just throughout the course of the game, he'll easily pick up the 60,000 that he needs. So that rod's not going to be too much of an issue. It looks like we have Dem0nfr0g going into Waterfall. This one is good. Just one charge of exit or warp will get you out of here, whereas the other two places, the warp spell is a little more valuable to you, but this one's easy just if you have an exit spell, because you just want to leave. You're not really doing any shenanigans.
yeah, there's some nasty monsters here, and if you have any trouble with the Wiz Mummies, you're going to have to fight them twice if you don't have an exit spell, so it's definitely a nice place to have an exit or warp.
Yeah. Looks like the Wiz Mummy fight is pretty free right now, but there was some unrunnable nightmares we saw in ordeals, which they can be here. But a couple really good runs from Dem0nfr0g. It looks like they get an early run, and then a couple fights back to back, and then another really good run. There's a lot of options for this as well, because you can easily get some chests in the Earth Cave and the Fire Cave. On these hero runs, you can just jump in, check a chest. If you don't need it, you can get out real easy.
And we saw some glare in this Wiz-Mummy fight.
Cockatrices were always my least favorite in the vanilla game. I'm always afraid of them, even in this version of the game.
Yeah, that stone in the vanilla.
With ice too. Ooh, this is bad.
Fortunately, Hat there is the one with the ribbon, so potential survivability still.
I'm not sure if he has exit though. Or life. We'll have to find out here. Get the katana. And the loot here. So that means the tail is in the ice cave. We know that the tail is in the ice cave. So they will have that choice that you mentioned earlier of going to the ice cave to get the tail.
Dem0nfr0g not picking up warp when he was in Elfland is coming back to hurt him right now.
Yeah, he's going to have to hope for a good run out of here. And there's the wipe. And it doesn't look like he's going back.
Well, knowing that it's the loot and that you're going to have to come back here to take on the Sea Shrine anyway, with those kind of monsters and knowing that there's potential warp spell in the wings, I don't know if he knows that or not, but imagining there might be, I could see that you might say, I'll just come back later because I don't need the loot until I'm going into the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Yeah, it is a play. We got Fizzlebeef here on the right-hand side. It looks like he's going into Mirage, which on this good hero run here at the beginning, he's going to be able to get a lot of this first level. And I do believe that he has access to get out of here and tent and house up and come back. This is, he's got some decent levels too. This is a really good place. Like this fight right here, this vampire fight, weak to fire, they're going to get tons of experience from this fight. If they can get through this fight, it's a really nice play. And we do have Dem0nfr0g here on the left-hand side going for the Ice Cave dive. Still not sure if he has warp. If he doesn't have warp, he'll have to full clear this.
Yeah, I didn't see warp the last time when he was going into his spell charges right there in the waterfall cave. So it's potential he got it on one of his other characters, but I'm not sure that he does. As I believe he didn't even bother looking at the level 4 magic shop when he was there initially. And he hasn't gone back to do the crown quest, so he hasn't made another trip where he would check it out.
Fizzlebeef going here to level round 2. Not entirely sure if he has the warp or exit spell either. This would seem like a risky play if he, I would have to assume that he has at least a warp charge. Or this would be way too risky of a move for me.
Yeah, I think that exit was actually in the one of the locked out spells in the level 4 white mage.
We did have warp, it just was on the other red mage. Where they might have been out of charges. Because we did have Dem0nfr0g warp out. He has the tail now. Checking the less than greater than room. So far, just some small amounts of gold. And some housing. Nothing too exciting. He's warping out. Let's see if he takes a house and decides to go back in. Looks like that's his choice. Ooh, we have a good. His black mage got off the lightning 3 there. Got rid of the cockatrices and mummies. And one step from the exit gets a bad undead encounter. but gets off of Fire 3 early. So he's out with the tail. I assume he's going to come turn that in right away, maybe do a little shopping.
Yeah, there's something to be said for getting the tail before you do all this exploration, because not only can you immediately equip whatever you find if it's going to be equipable at some point, but also when you go back and do and make visits to other towns, you now can learn all the magic that you'll be capable of learning after class change.
That's a good point. So we have FizzleBeef here in the Sky Castle now, taking fights. Looks like he's full clearing all the treasures. We're gonna see if this works out for him. I'm not sure if he ever turned. He's had to have turned on the animate at some point during this. Though I'm not sure I saw him go turn it in.
I don't recall having seen him turn it in.
Looks like we have Dem0nfr0g right now. He's going to be... You see, this is nice, because now he's got his class change. He's going to be doing his key quest right now, picking up the ruby, which isn't needed for this seed. Yep, and I saw that he checked it a couple more times because he got pretty trolled in his last seed with the ruby locked floater. But Dem0nfr0g, you see, this is going to work out for him because he's going to have to go to these towns to finish the key quest, and he's going to be able to do some shopping here and pick up some spells while he's at it. With the divergence in this path, it's hard to really see who's going to be ahead. FizzleBeef is taking a huge lead on levels. I believe right now he's around level 18, and picking up Gray Medusas are one of the best experience fights in the game. We'll just have to see if he's strong enough to take on Tiamat.
That's the one big risk about doing an early, or maybe not the one big risk, but a big risk of doing an early dive into the Sky Palace, that you can get a whole lot of levels, which is why people want to do it early, but you can fight some really nasty things that can wipe you out fast and undo all the time you spent leveling.
Oh, he's even going to check this second floor here. Oop, found a second ribbon, so this has worked out for him so far. He's going to have plenty of money, plenty of gear. These are more chests that aren't very commonly checked.
If you're using this area as a grind spot too, you might as well.
Hairs have frost, but the ribbons negate that pretty well. We've got Dem0nfr0g here on the left-hand side, just cleaning up his chest for the key quest. Be curious to see if he actually goes to Temple of Fiends to pick up the adamant. It's not a very common play.
Yeah, I find I tend to check those chests more frequently when I'm about to make the last dive and I'm desperately looking for one of those final items to make the trip a whole lot easier.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to our tracker, Moist Mogwai. I hope I'm saying that right. Helping us out here on short notice, tracking this for you all. And it looks like we got Dem0nfr0g learning some of his magic for his knight. Nothing too exciting in the level 1 spells.
Picking up one of those incredibly expensive gold bracelets.
Fizzlebeef is going to have a ton of money to do all this shopping. If he makes it out of here in one piece, he's going to be really set for the rest of the game, I think. I mean, 2 ribbons and an adamant. I mean, a lot of temper charges. I mean, that's go mode for me. But I'm sure he's hoping for something like the power gauntlet. But I will say that this has been, you know, checking. This has worked out for him so far. But he is checking quite a bit of chess. And Dem0nfr0g leaving. Looks like he's checking out Provoca for the level 2 white magic. And an opal shield over there on Fizzlebeef's side, but he is still not class changed.
We were talking about whether he turned in the adamant or not. It doesn't matter if he's turned in the adamant because he still hasn't class changed, so he wouldn't be able to.
You're correct.
Anyway.
And it looks like Dem0nfr0g is going to the volcano. We got Dem0nfr0g here in the armory, checking chests. Ooh, Persilists have glare. Instant KO rub spell. Fizzlebeef here on the right-hand side. This is a great room. There's 6 chests in this room. Gets a power staff and the 3rd ribbon. So that's 3 ribbons for your 3 characters.
Now that's definitely going to help out late. Might make taking on Tiamat here a little less risky.
Unrunnable rock golems. These guys hit like a truck. Ooh, and they have thunder as well, but those ribbons, they help cut out on elemental damage. I mean, we're hitting level 19s over here on Fizzlebeef's side. I mean, he's been in here for, I'd say, at least 10-15 minutes now. I mean, it's really worked out for him. He's gotten all of his ribbons. We'll just see if he can make it out alive. Ooh, loses his black match.
Dem0nfr0g finding the dragon armor in the armory over here. That's going to be nice.
White sure as well.
To me, that would be the big item from what LordFizzlebeef has that I would have been missing to go on. Is we've got all the ways to make us stronger, but not a whole lot to keep us alive while we're doing it. And so getting that white shirt on top of everything else could possibly put you in a mode where you don't bother checking any more chests.
Interesting here on the right-hand side. Looks like Fizzlebeef is warping out. He's very, very low on heal potions. I believe he's down to 2 heal potions, so he's just getting out of here.
Yeah,
he's got his level, he's got his gear. This means, though, he will have to come back. Yeah, this is interesting. I do agree with Split Punched here in the chat too. Danning a party member is usually, this is probably the first time that I've seen it on these flags when the thief and the thief or the black belt wasn't forced. He chose to take a thief to Dan the thief. And I've only seen this strategy used when those two classes have been forced. Now it looks like Fizzlebeef took a house and is going right back in. He's going to be able to get through the majority of this very quickly. But he at least has a save on the outside with his 3 ribbons and is almost level 20 now at this point. Probably he's going to hit level 20 after this fight. He's probably easily going to be level 24 when he hits Topher, which is the big extra hit for your knight. But it'll be interesting to see, you know, Dem0nfr0g's, you know, checking Volcano. He just got his black shirt.
Found the ship and the bridge in this volcano.
Yeah, we'll have to ask Fizzlebeef after the match if this was just a strategy that he's had going into. I've seen red mages gain a lot of popularity lately. Even running 3 or 4 of them in some matches, especially in our 12-man last night. Minochi won our race with 4 red mages. So maybe it was in a response to the black mage being forced. I'd say the black mage is probably the 3rd. I'd say you don't want to see a black belt, and then after that, you probably don't want to see a thief, and then probably after that is, I would say, the black mage.
Well,
you'd probably be okay with seeing a red mage fight or white mage force.
the volcano here is paying off in droves. They found the white shirt, the black shirt, and now the power bonk. And so...
that is very good. Now, I'm curious because, you know, these chests were kind of out of the way. You know, the armory's not super out of the way, but it's a little bit out of the way. With the 3 ribbons that, you know, Fizzlebeef has here, if he just gets to the volcano, if he's just going to try to speedrun the volcano and not really make any divergent choices out of the way.
Yeah, I think it's largely going to depend on when he decides to go to the volcano. If that's his next destination, he might take a chance. But if he's kind of makes that trip at the end, may just decide to be in go mode and do it.
And carry goes down here on Dem0nfr0g's side. There's our first orb of the match at the 47-minute mark. And we're hitting levels in the 20s now on Fizzlebeef's side. Yeah, unrunnable Thunder Rock Golems haven't been very fun for Fizzlebeef so far. It looks like we have Dem0nfr0g here. Probably gonna give Waterfall another go, and then possibly his second dungeon for the Sea Shrine.
So if you're Dem0nfr0g here, without having a particularly excellent weapon, do you consider going mermaid side?
That's a good question. I don't really, most times I don't really do mermaids. I can probably count on, I'd say maybe 10% of my seeds I go to mermaids. But that might be an inexperienced play on me as well.
Yeah, I believe I've actually gone to mermaids in exactly 1 seed. That's the the Sea Shrine is the one dungeon that I don't have completely memorized, because by the time I get there, I tend to just be making the straight path to Kraken. But it does seem to be a popular play with some other runners.
It is a popular play, and I mean, going into this, you would think that Dem0nfr0g would probably be the underdog in this fight, so maybe it's a play that, you know, could work out for him. We got Fizzlebeef here on the Bridge of Destiny, has so far avoided any war mech sightings. And he has made it to Kraken. That's not Kraken, that's T-Man. And one shot cracks him to death.
Lots of instant death success we've had in this seed so far.
So that's really good for Fizzlebeef. He's level 21 coming out of the... curious to see where his next stop is now. Maybe the Ice Cave? It's kind of in the area he's in. Maybe Volcano?
Gonna go pick up some extra spells.
Cure 4 is unlearnable, but Nuke will be learnable. And he has a lot of money. Dem0nfr0g getting the loot here on the left-hand side. And a pro ring. But I believe we've seen this before. Yeah, we've seen this before. Nice Thor hammer as well.
And now with everybody alive, should be able to just warp out quickly.
We got Fizzlebeef here going to the volcano. We'll be interested to see if he, you know, well, we're about to see if he's going for chests or if he's just going to speedrun it.
And here,
if he checks the chest, he will be very well rewarded.
He continues to put off trying to go after the tail.
And I believe you don't get charges if you level up, because I believe you start getting charges on your knight at level 15. And I think he's not getting, because he's about level 21 now, and he's still not a knight. There's the white shirt and the dragon armor for him.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty much locking out his knight on using any white magic, which could hurt him with life being available. Or was life level 4?
I don't remember what life was off the top. I think you're right. Looks like Dem0nfr0g's checking some of the out of the way chests over here in the Sea Shrine. Doesn't look like mermaids, but a little bit out of the way. I have to think, though, with that adamant, that he's going to be trying to class change.
Especially after having picked up that dragon armor, too. I can't imagine the time loss, especially given that you have warp. The time loss of looking after the tail would compare to the time loss of having the weaker weapon and the weaker defense.
And, well, he hasn't been to Waterfall either, so he might be thinking that, you know, he's just going to hit up Waterfall next. He's turned in his Oxyel, so that would be kind of the next play that would make sense for him. We'll see if he hits up the Ice Cave on the way. But having the Oxyel, knowing he hasn't seen the Waterfall at all.
We have a mass moon sighting in one of the free chests in the Sea Shrine, so that's really gonna work in Dem0nfr0g's favor since he did not find the adamant.
Yes, that's really gonna be nice for him. He only has one ribbon right now. We know he has the power gauntlet and the white shirt. He's gonna have tons and tons of temper charges.
And Fizzlebeef is just going full steam ahead at this point.
So that means he might have passed up the power gauntlet.
He did.
Now we know where the other two ribbons are. They're in chests that I'm not sure that Dem0nfr0g is going to check. I mean, we're getting up to 53 minutes on a seed that was canoe floater to start. I'm starting to be thinking, no, I got to wrap this game up in about 30-35 minutes.
Yeah, it's I especially.
Oh, and the opal bracelet.
I especially think that the ribbon that was on the second floor of the Sky Temple is going to be skipped over. If Dem0nfr0g decides to check all the chests on that third floor, it's possible, but it seems difficult to imagine now that he's got Dragon Armor, Mass Immune, Power Bonk, White Shirt, that you go out of your way for any chests.
Have you got to look at any of his levels lately on Dem0nfr0g? He might get a level here after this fight. Okay, he's in the 16th range. That's fine. I mean, he's still got to go through air, so he'll get some levels there. And Fizzlebeef takes down Volcano with no problem. We do know that he's passed. Oh, and there he goes to the ice cave. So this is a good move for him. He shouldn't be in here for any more than a couple minutes. Dem0nfr0g even going for the Sharknado chest. It's one that gets passed up quite a bit because you have to run over the trap trial twice.
I imagine he's thinking that the Gray Sharks are pretty good experience anyway, so why not?
They are. They're one of the better fights to take in the Sea Shrine. If they're paired with a big eye, that's a good amount of experience. And here we got Fizzlebeef already on the floor with the floater. And Dem0nfr0g going towards... He's on Carrie's floor right now. I'm just messing up all my fiends' names today. He's on Kraken's floor. Taking out some mages here on Fizzlebeef's side. Mages are a really good experience fight as well. And it looks like he's just gonna warp, grab his tail, and get out of there.
Seriously, it works out really nice for LordFizzlebeef that the Mass Immune is where it is, because I am wagering he checks either those two chests only, or those two plus the 3 free ones in Sharknado.
Yeah, he's gonna have access to his adamant here really soon. He's gonna have access to. We know that he's going to see the Mass Immune, so he's going to have 2 good weapons for his Red Mage and his Fighter. We haven't seen Fast, though, I'm pretty sure. That's the one thing that I'm kind of still looking for, is the Fast spell.
Yeah, and I think we've seen both of the level 7 magic shops. I know we've at least seen the one in Gaia, so it's possible that that's at level 8.
Okay, Shilise is letting me know in chat we have seen Fast at level 7. And I mean, the levels that we're getting here on Fizzlebeef's side, it's gonna be usable. We're gonna have level 7 charges. And it looks like Dem0nfr0g is taking care of Kraken. Took a death, but got through it okay. And he's out. And has the money to pick up the rod here. Dem0nfr0g's playing this very nicely so far.
And now you start to ask your Dem0nfr0g, are you going to bother checking the chests in the Mirage Tower?
Yeah, that is a. I mean, I think, if I remember correctly, one of the ribbons is in a fairly commonly checked spot. One of them's not, but one of them is. So I could see him grabbing one, and, you know, with one, he's probably feels pretty safe. I mean, that would give him 2 ribbons, and I think he'd feel pretty safe at that point. We got FizzleBeef turning in his tail over here. 3 red Anklos, and he's going to take that fight. This is a dangerous fight. These guys hit so hard. But he probably thinks he's just using a house and you can just nuke them all away. And it does look like Dem0nfr0g's checking these chests. But it's the chests in the Sky Castle that, you know, with only 1 ribbon, you know, you can definitely make the argument to check those high density chests here on the 3rd floor of Sky. It's certainly an argument you can make.
Yeah, and since there's a ribbon in those chests, then that could work out really well if it makes that decision. But they also have wall, and if I'm not mistaken, that's available to both the knight and both red mages. So one ribbon might not be the worst, or might not be so awful.
Got FizzleBeef on the right-hand side, checking out the waterfall. This is the move that we thought made sense. I mean, it's obviously made sense. He went to ice. He got his class change in, and now he's going to be hitting up the waterfall. And I'm assuming we'll go to the Sea Shrine after that, and he'll get his mass immune. Still pretty sure he's not turned in his adamant at all, but that it'll end up working out for him.
Wonder if he still remembers that he has the adamant. I know if I forget to turn it in immediately, it'll end up in my inventory forever.
Yeah, it's probably been 35 minutes since he picked it up. Looks like Dem0nfr0g's checking out this less than greater than room. We know that there's nothing really here other than some money and some camping gear, a couple potions. Looks like Dem0nfr0g is not warping out. He is going to keep going. Sometimes you see people exit out after checking that 2nd room. And the loot for LordFizzlebeef. So I would say, as of right now, Dem0nfr0g has a pretty small exploration lead. He's got all of his incentive locations done, all of his fetch quests done, and he's in his third. He's going for his 3rd orb right now, where FizzleBeef, he's going to be there shortly. This is a pretty close match. Obviously, FizzleBeef has a pretty significant lead in gear and levels. Ooh, and it looks like, oh, we'll have to see. Dem0nfr0g is checking these chests. I don't believe there's anything in these chests. It's the next floor and then the 3rd floor that the 2 ribbons are on. Looks like we have FizzleBeef here on the right-hand side. He's just going to check out Looks like he's doing Sea Shrine right now. I don't think he's even been here to check out that the rod's for sale, but he must know that it's for sale.
Dem0nfr0g opting to skip the second floor of the Sky Palace.
This will cost him a ribbon. We'll see what he does with the third floor.
It does look like he's exploring, going to check all the chests on the third floor, or at least based upon the direction he's going right now. He's checking the group of 6.
I can't see Fizzlebeef going out of his way for any chest. He's going to grab the 2 chests that are free on his way, and he's going to see the Mass-Mune there. There's the second ribbon for Dem0nfr0g. He's got to be very happy now. And there's the Mass-Mune for Fizzlebeef.
Opting not even to check the second chest in that long room. So I imagine that LordFizzlebeef is done opening chests.
I'd have to imagine, Mass-Mune, 3 ribbons. I mean, tons of tramper spells. I mean, Power Gauntlet is probably the last thing. I think he did get the white shirt in the armory and the volcano. I mean, he can't be looking for much else other than a Power Gauntlet. I mean, this, I think, is full-blown go mode now for him.
Oh, he does check these 3 chests in the Sharknado room. Yeah, but if all the items you're looking for at the end of game, the only things that are left that he doesn't already have are the defense sword and the power bomb. And given everything else he has, that can be easily covered for.
Well, quick recap. It was a pretty straightforward seed. We had a canoe floater start. There hasn't, I mean, not a ton of divergence along the way. Fizzlebeef, this was a Black Mage 4 seed, and Fizzlebeef chose to go Fighter, Red Mage, Black Mage, Thief, and Dan his Thief. He chose the Thief to Dan it, whereas Dem0nfr0g on the other side has double Red Mage, Black Mage, Fighter. Good swords have been found. Fizzlebeef has found all 3 ribbons. Dem0nfr0g's found 2. I'd say we're in complete go mode right now for both competitors. Both competitors are in their third, going for their third orb right now. It's pretty close. I would give, I'm sorry, hand went off my push to talk. I'd give Fizzlebeef the small edge on exploration, and his levels are really good right now. I'd say he's approaching the mid-20s.
And we have another successful bracking.
And Fizzlebeef, there have been some very good bracks in this fight, in this seed.
That was
so Fizzlebeef has his 3rd seed. He's probably just going to the ice cave right now. I mean, sorry, the earth cave, and he's just going to speed run it in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, given how much the earth cave gave you trouble growing up, it is so nice to just be able to go through here and torch anything that gets in your way.
There's also been, this seed has some really good hero runs in the path, so Fizzlebeef's gonna get through this pretty quickly. I'd say he's looking like he's probably gonna hit Temple of Fiends Revisited around the 10-15 mark. I'm sorry, the hour 15 mark. May still have some shopping to do. He did class change pretty late in the game. He's not going to have access to very many spell charges on his knight. No, he does have Rod. I believe he did. Rod was for sale at OnRack for about 60,000, and I do believe he did buy that. We'll find out in about a minute, but I am pretty confident that Fizzlebeef does have the Rod. Bridge of Destiny for Dem0nfr0g. Get your hope out there for a warm mech sighting.
Say hello to the vampire.
Say goodbye to the vampire.
Vampire kind of loses a little bit of his cachet after you've killed giant crowds of them in the Mirage Tower.
5 packs of them in the Mirage Tower. We got the moment of truth. Is there a Rod in Fizzlebeef's inventory? There is. Got unrunnable red hydras with sleep.
There is also an adamant still in LordFizzlebeef's inventory, and you really have to wonder if he's choosing not to turn it in, or if he's completely forgotten about it.
Yeah, he did pick that up at about the 20-25 minute mark. That adamant was in a key-locked Temple of Fiends chest that Dem0nfr0g did not check. But Fizzlebeef at no point so far has. I mean, he only class changed not that long ago, so he may have forgotten that he even has it, but he does have the mass immune, so he's fine on swords. He might just be thinking he's going to use his red mage and his black mage mainly as casters. You know, he has the Vorpal for the red mage, and Lich was barely around for me to even mention it, and all 4 orbs are lit for LordFizzlebeef at the hour, let's say hour 11 minute mark.
And he is getting his Excalibur.
Oh, did you catch what happened on Dem0nfr0g's side? Did he wipe or did he exit?
I think I'm not sure. I think he exited.
Oh, did he get the exit boss? That's unfortunate.
I don't think he has access to exit, so I'm not sure what happened. Accidentally hit the reset button on his controller?
We're not even sure exit is learnable by the red wizards. I think it was level. Well, it might be learnable by the red wizards, but it wasn't learnable by the red mages.
I believe it was in the 2nd slot of the level 4 magic shop, which I don't think is learnable by anybody but white.
Oh, okay. We'll have to ask him after the fact what happened here. I was busy paying attention to Fizzlebeef's. Oh, he might have wiped or just reset because he's picking up these ribbon chests again.
It may be that he couldn't get away from those red hydras that were so problematic and decided it's just not worth it.
That's a rough one. We're at the hour 12 minute mark. Fizzlebeef's inside. Temple of Fiends Revisited. Brought his thief back to the game. Thief's probably going to get a ton of levels here. Unrunnable mage fighters. This is a pretty good experience pack as well. I haven't got an update on the fighters levels. I'm sure he wants to hit level 24 before he gets to chaos. That's the next swing on the mass immune. It basically makes the fight very easy.
It appears that he just got to level 23, so it should be an easy thing to get by the end.
Yeah, it's safe to assume he'll get that just from unrunnable fights along the way. Just some money in the validation chests. And we got the Bridge of Destiny Part 2. Unrunnable Airs.
Sometimes when you're feeling really behind, having these unrunnable encounters can actually work out to your advantage, because you might tend to run from these good experience fights just trying to make up time. And
that is a good point. We got Fizzlebeef here on the earth floor. Luckily, that fight, just the mud golems, they have a nasty spell. I forget what the spell was they have, but they have some nasty AoE spell, and the fight with just the rock golems was unrunnable. So it's good that he got through this with no issues. Take a peek here at Lich 2, see if he has anything fun. Mass immune on the Black Mage, that's always exciting.
Nuclear.
And nuclear. He should be able to recover from that, though. He has life charges on his Red Mage and his Knight. So we've got Dem0nfr0g taking on Tiamat on the left-hand side. Hit for almost 550. That's a big hit. I don't think Tiamat's much for this world.
Oh,
and he goes down. So that's going to be the third orb for Dem0nfr0g. And Fizzlebeef on to the fire level. Dem0nfr0g looks like he's making a beeline for the... Well, he's making a beeline for Crescent Lake. Pick up some level 6 magic, probably. Fill up on heal potions.
Carry 2 not hitting very hard. Couldn't even take out the ninja in one hit.
Carry 2 is down. Level 10 on our ninja. He's doing his job, taking hits. Took a nap for the last hour of this game. Quite the hero run on the waterfall so far. And everybody's favorite Kraken 2.
The real boss of the game.
Yes. We've got Dem0nfr0g going for his last orb in the Earth Cave. He should make quick work of this. There's a wipe here in Temple of Fiends. This is a wide open game.
We saw that happen just a couple of days ago, where one player was going to the Temple of Fiends before the other had their second orb, ended up wiping on Chaos, and then the game ended up being decided by 5 seconds.
Yeah. We got Zap coming out from the Kraken, but he has 3 ribbons, so he'll be able to survive this. It's got 4 temper charges. He's choosing to use the temper charges here. And that works out. Kraken 2 is down. The real boss of the game has been taken care of. He's getting his thief back for Tiamat 2. We do have Dem0nfr0g going out of his way to check a couple chests here. Getting the defense sword.
Yeah, it still looks like he's going after what are kind of the semi-free kind of chests, the ones you only have to take a few extra steps to get.
Frost from the airs. I believe this fight is unrunnable. There's a nuke. Well, 4 of them still survived.
And the airs with glare, too.
Still level 23 there on that fighter. I was thinking that fight might have been a blessing in disguise and would have given him level 24.
Starting to get low on the heal potions.
And about the hour 20-minute mark, we're pulling Tiamat 2. Fire 3 coming out. Not doing much damage at all. Fast on that. 8 hits for 168 damage. Black Mage down. 1 shot. He should be able to recover from this.
Yeah, 875 damage. That'll help out.
$657 damage, and Tiamat 2 goes down. And uses his last life charge to get that Black Mage back up. He's going to have enough healing potions, it looks like, to get this. And he has some heal 3 charges, so he's good on healing items. He's going to be going to Chaos here in a minute or so.
Unless, of course, he gets ambushed by some whiz vampires. Those are good to drain your heal supply real fast.
And here we go. We're on Chaos floor right now.
Meanwhile, Dem0nfr0g getting trolled by a bat who won't get out of the way.
Yes, those always get me. I learned just the other day that you should give them space so that they have room to move, not just get on their butts and try to push them out of the way.
Yeah, that was something I've learned recently as well.
So we got the ninja getting out white shirt spells, doing his job. Fire 3's barely tickling his party. And a critical hit for 273. We still got about 4 more temper charges here on the side, so this, unless something crazy comes out, I think FizzleBeef has this one. I'm not
Interesting
sure.
decision to put the knight on the 2nd slot when up to this point he'd been putting knight in the 4th slot.
Lightning 2 hasn't been much out of this Chaos so far.
But it only takes 1 nuke. Well, to make things dicey. Probably takes 2 nukes to finish them off.
Looks like we got about 4 applications of the white shirt now up. probably 5 tempers on that night right now, and the fast.
1,000 damage.
Oh, 1,000 damage.
Work of chaos.
Lightning 2 from Chaos. And GG.
We have LordFizzlebeef finishing with an official SRL race time of 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 40 seconds.
That's one of the fastest times of the tournament so far. We'll see if we can get him in here for... find out what he thought about that seed. But that was really nicely played. Spent a lot of time in Temple of Fiends. I'm sorry, a Mirage Tower and Sky Castle. Got a ton of levels, got a lot of gear, and still managed to get through the entire game in, you know, very short order. It was a really impressive race by him. Dem0nfr0g's not too terribly far behind him. Well, I don't see LordFizzlebeef in the waiting room, so we'll take a look over here on Dem0nfr0g's side, see how he's doing.
I know he was having some technical issues in IRC, so I'm not. So we'll see.
Yeah, we did see that. Okay, that would make sense. We got Lich 1 over here on Dem0nfr0g's side. I mean, Lich 2.
We'll see if Dem0nfr0g can avoid the nuclear.
Oh, there's LordFizzlebeef. I'll grab him right now. GG, Fizzlebeef.
Thank you.
What do you think of that seed?
Nice and speedy. Very, very fast.
Yeah, you put up one of the official, I knew you weren't in MIRC, but the official time was 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 40 seconds. I believe that's one of the fastest times of the tournament so far.
Yeah, starting with Canoe and Floater helps a lot.
It does, and throughout the race, questions in chat, did you go into this match thinking that Fighter Red Mage, Black Mage was going to be the party you rolled with no matter what? Because we did see that you chose the Thief and then danned him for most of the race.
That is generally my default configuration in these seeds. The Thief is generally more utility than character. He's good for running away early and running away late, and usually useless in the middle.
That makes sense. Well, here on the... It was a really good race. Dem0nfr0g's not too terribly far behind you. He's on carry 2 as we speak. We'll have to ask Dem0nfr0g what happened to him there on the Bridge of Destiny. We missed it. He was on the Bridge of Destiny. I'm not sure if he took a wipe or if he hit the exit boss or something like that, but that put him back a little bit. Looks like he made quick work of carry 2.
So I have a question for you, LordFizzlebeef. We noticed that you went through multiple dungeons without class changing first. Were you considering going through without a class change, or had you just decided you didn't want to take the time to go out of your way at that point?
It was one of those things where I didn't want to take the time to go out of my way. Cardia Islands was... I mean, it was definitely going to be before I hit Sunken Temple. But I didn't want to fly out of my way just to get Excalibur and Dragon Armor. If I could get through Sky Castle without it, I sure as heck wasn't going to need it for Volcano or, well, I had Earth Cave at the time, and then I remembered I didn't have the rod yet.
We got Dem0nfr0g here on Kraken 2. He does have the power gauntlet.
Where was that?
That was in the volcano, the chests on the second to last floor of the volcano. I forget which chest specifically, but it was one of the ones that you did because you were pretty in go mode at that point.
Yeah, you took off at some point after checking one of the chests in there and getting, I can't remember which item it was, but you took off and walked right past the power bonk shortly thereafter.
Yeah, I believe going into Volcano, I was pretty sure I believe I had all 3 ribbons at that point, or I had at least 2 ribbons at that point.
Yeah, you did.
So I was like, I'll check the armory because it's a super dense collection of chests, and if I don't find what I want there, then I'll just motor through the rest of it.
I mean, it worked out for you. I mean, you knew you had your adamant in your back pocket for a weapon. You know, 3 ribbons, white shirt, you know, probably 20 casts of temper. You were going to be fine.
You were already clearly in go mode where you were not checking any more, or pretty much any more chests, and then you happen to find the mass immune in the freest of chests. What was your thoughts when you saw that?
I can't believe my luck right now was essentially what I was thinking. I wanted to check the second chest there. My pathing was a little off, and then the encounter told me, no, idiot, just go forward, and I listened.
Yeah, we did see that. You took like a step and then you went back for it. We were like, oh no. But it looks like we got Dem0nfr0g here on the air floor, taking on some of those lovely unrunnable airs.
Those were nightmarish.
Just hit the hour and 30-minute mark.
You think they couldn't get any worse with their as normal sky-high evasion rate, and then they hit you with thunder, and it gets worse.
I was worried for that earth floor because I knew the rock golems encounters, they had thunder and they were unrunnable. So I was worried for that, but you looked like you got a different encounter from that one, which was runnable, which is good.
Yeah, I had all the experience I needed with the unrunnable rock golems in Sky Castle.
Looks like we got Dem0nfr0g pulling Tiamat 2 here. He went with a party of fighter, double red mage, black mage. Kept him up for most of them. He also did find the defense sword. It was in a kind of out of the way chest in the Earth Cave that we were surprised that he checked, but he did check it and had the defense sword. On the first chest that you can check on level 3, so he's got all the levels and all the equipment that he's going to need to actually beat the game.
Was there anything that caught your eye as particularly nasty in this seed, or did you think it was just mostly pretty smooth?
Sky Castle gave me a lot of pause with the number of unrunnable encounters in there. It's why I ended up running out about 2/3 of the way through.
I thought that was a smart play. Like, that's something I probably would have tested my luck and wiped and lost everything.
Yeah, I didn't want to risk that just because of how fast everything was going. I figured that one slog dungeon wipe and I was going to be out of the race.
Ooh, it looks like he did kill Tiamat 2, but lost his black mage and is out of life charges.
Well, so it's going to be an interesting finish here. Fortunately, the 2 red mages still have plenty of tempers that they can probably put up on him.
And see if he finds anything nasty. He got a sorcerer fight, but he should be able to run from that. Kind of a nice encounter table, too, for this seed.
Yeah, the space between 2 and 3 was enormous.
Okay, looks like we've got him getting ready to pull Chaos here at about the hour 33-minute mark. And his red mage soaks a hit for 207. He's casting Wall on his red mage and using some defense sword charges. Not sure if he has any access to fast. That might have just been on his black mage, or maybe he never picked it up, because I think, was it level 7 fast was?
I believe the red mages could not learn fast. It was at level 7.
Okay, so his black mage, taking a nap right now, has the fast charges. But he still should be fine here. It's got the power gauntlet. It's got a bunch of temper charges. Got some white shirt stacks up now.
Yeah, Chaos seems to have a lot of instant death spells here that are nicely protected against. So unless somehow his knight gets rubbed through that, should be pretty close to done.
Yeah, I don't think Chaos had anything dangerous, at least on my go.
Yeah, it looked like just a bunch of Lightning 3 and ink and stuff like that. Three hits for 340. Lightning 2 not doing much.
Yeah, I know this Chaos was very chunky, but didn't really have any offense for him.
Still got temper charges on him. 351 damage, not a crit. Let's say he's done probably about 1,000 damage so far. Still has 4 temper charges. And there's a zap that he makes it through. 814 damage critical hit. I don't think this Chaos is much for the world. And there we go, GG.
Dem0nfr0g finishing with an official SRL race time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 37 seconds.
Let's see if we... Yep, he's in the waiting room. I'll grab him right now. GG, Dem0nfr0g.
GG, LordFizzlebeef.
GG, man.
What do you think of that seed, Dem0nfr0g?
Red Hydras are mean.
Yeah, we kind of missed that. What happened to you on the Bridge of Destiny there?
So, Red Hydras were unrunnable, had nuke, and some other crappy AoE. And came in 4. So, and airs weren't too fun either.
Yeah,
it was a very good race. About an hour through, we couldn't really tell who had the advantage. There was some divergence in the pass. You got the power gauntlet when he did not. He got an extra ribbon that you didn't get. It was pretty safe race. It would have been a really photo finish if you'd have made that Bridge of Destinies clean. I think it would have been the margin would have only probably at that point been a couple minutes. Either way, but it was a really good race by you. Thoughts on your party composition?
I don't know. I really do like red mages, and I doubled down. I don't think it burned me too much. I guess I didn't get faded with a white mage. I had to wait for upgrade.
Yeah, it didn't look like anything was locked out by in the white magic that was too important that early.
No, but man, there's red hydras. I mean, other than that, it felt really upfront. Just, when you're given canoe and floater off, first thing, there's the world your oyster.
Yep, time to go. I mean, it seemed like a pretty straightforward seed. There wasn't a ton thrown at people differently. Freest Masmune in the world right there on the path.
Yeah.
We did see an adamant, though, that you did not see. It was actually key-locked in Temple of Fiends.
Okay, yeah. I between trying the waterfall I was trying to get a little bit of experience in wiping there, and then the wiping about as far as you can into Sky Tower. I definitely wasn't gonna fuss around. I'm just happy this is my second official race, and both times my opponent. I mean, I've lost both times, but I at least been in Temple of Fiends Revisited, so I feel like that's a good showing, if nothing else.
And you've been up against two very great opponents.
Yeah, this time there was no ruby locked floater.
Yeah, done in an hour and a half. Man, this was a breeze.
Yeah, saw you when you picked up that ruby in Matoya's. You kind of trolled on it for a little bit.
Well, it's a couple seconds to have a little fun.
I'm just trying to figure out right now where the 4 p.m. race is on. Does anybody know that off the top of their head? We had a 4 p.m. race.
Looks to me like it is on Randomania 3. Between Woat and Black Knight. No, that can't be right.
It's
Between Lord of the Sith and Linda Cat. Excuse me.
Linda Cat.
Woat and Black Knight are commentating.
Okay, GG to both of you guys. Anything else you want to add here at the end?
Someday I'll have Nuke and Fade together, and it'll be great.
You've got about a 50-50 chance to get him.
And yet.
What level was Nuke in that one?
6.
Yeah, 6.
6, okay.
I think that's one thing I actually forgot to go back and get. It was a super poor seed starting up.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, and luckily that the 60K rod, it was the rod, not something more important early in the game. I just ran a seed the other day that I submitted for the challenge seed that if they do it, it's going to be interesting. There was some key locked things. Very expensive crown.
Spoilers, man.
Yeah. Well, I guess I did just spoil the whole thing. Damn it.
I mean, the worst I've seen was
fun,
floater for like 45,000 in Provoca and having the canoe. It's like I should have this before I leave, but there's no money to get.
You probably didn't have the best spells for Peninsula Power.
Not the best, but not the worst either.
No. Looks like so. I think if we don't have anything else, we're gonna sign this off and send it over to Randomania 3, where we have a race right now. Got also tonight we have pretty stacked deck on Speed Gaming at 7 o'clock. We have Forzando against Green Cleric on Speed Gaming, and then at 9 o'clock, I think on Speed Gaming 1, we have Tristal versus Will Cleosis, which will be a fun match. Tristal being, our #1 ranked competitor against Will.
Now all I have to say is just make sure you give our runners, Dem0nfr0g and LordFizzlebeef, a follow.
And shout out once again to Moist Mogwai for tracking for us here on very little notice. He did a great job. And I think that's all. Thank you all so much for watching. Good race between you two. It was a lot of fun. I'll see you all later.
Big spectacular.